I'm Jen. Welcome to my home. I'm the co-founder of Maturn and an accredited leadership coach. Come on in. So I wake up about 6 a.m. and then I usually work out before the whole house gets up. I then come upstairs, get my kids up, get breakfast ready, get everybody out the door, and then I come home, kind of zhuzh the place up a little bit. It usually looks like a bomb's gone off. And then I go downstairs to my office, and I'm usually on calls pretty much all day. It's a real gift when I have some time just to work. I do a lot of work with my business partner, Sonia Foley from Maturn. And then I'm also leading a lot of workshops for groups of women as well. And then a couple of times a week at 2:30, I have to go pick up my kids. And I come home, get them a snack, and then I go back to work. And then usually from there, I round up around 5 o'clock. We do dinner, kids' activities, and I'm in bed by 10. If you come with me now, I'll show you my office and where I work every day. So this is my office. It's also our spare bedroom. Surprise, surprise. I think a lot of people have this situation during COVID. I thought for International Women's Day, I wanted to share with you 3 of my favorite books by women. First one is Tara Moore, Plain Big, required reading for any woman in leadership. I think she also has a Plain Big course, which is amazing. Tara Brock, Radical Compassion. She's just the most incredible woman. Great podcast as well. And Brene Brown, of course, Dare to Lead, How to Lead Courageous Conversations at Work. If you haven't seen her TED Talk, it's a must. I would say absolutely not. I never had a clear vision for my life or my career path. And I would say I had a very non-linear career path. You know, I started my career in sports marketing. It was really on my first maternity leave that I had time to think and slow down. And motherhood had a huge impact on me. And it made me start to think of like, what do I want to do to impact the world in a bigger way? And that's when I moved into nonprofit, which I was in for 10 years. And then I was called in a different sort of way, and that was to entrepreneurship and creating something specifically to connect with and help expand women's own potential. And so I think, you know, we get multiple callings in life. It doesn't need to be just one. And sometimes with a calling, there's a beginning and there's an end, or there's an emergence into something else, or it transforms into something else. And so I think I've just really gone with the path that seemed in the most alignment with my own integrity and where I was being called at the time. Oh, everything. So what I used to think, was that you needed to know exactly where you were going in order to start. And I think deconstructing that was really difficult because I couldn't just say I knew what I was doing anymore. I didn't have a job title necessarily when I made the leap into entrepreneurship and I started my coaching and then ultimately Maturn. And so I think the hardest thing which I see happening, especially for a lot of women, is just what's the first step? You don't need to know what the outcome is in order to start on the path. And so we have to deconstruct that feeling that we need to go know exactly where we're going in order to start. So that was a huge struggle. I would kind of lie on the floor bawling my eyes out some days being like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I had to change that to, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's okay. I would say once I started having an ability to tune in to my feminine power more, my career really started to take off in a more soul-aligned kind of way. And so when I say that, feminine power, it's really connected to your creativity, to your intuition, to your connection to yourself and to others. And I would say I used to have this feeling that in order to do really well, I had to be really hard on myself. I needed a lot of self-discipline. I need to push myself. And the more I've leaned into kind of those feminine traits of being a woman in terms of my empathy, not just for others, but more importantly for myself, I've been more motivated. And I stopped this feeling of always needing to achieve and do, and I created a space that allowed me to listen to myself more. And I think that feels more aligned for me and has really helped me to get more soul aligned in my work and in my career. Well, I have had the deep privilege to be involved in projects and organizations over the last 20 years of my career that I have loved. From marketing with the Vancouver Canucks during like the famous West Coast Express days, to leading national campaigns for anti-bullying and women's health and equity. And so I've loved a lot of my jobs. But I have to say my most proudest career moment has been in the last year, and that's been in co-creating Maturn, which is Canada's first maternity leave program. And that program really came from a place of my own struggle with motherhood and with maternity leave. You know, I was woefully unprepared for my first year in motherhood. And even though there was a lot of joy, there was also a lot of isolation. There was a lot of loneliness. There was a lot of guilt. There was a lot of feelings of inadequacy. There was a lot of feelings of failure, both as a mother and then in the return to work as a leader. And I would say that with Maturn, we want to really change the narrative of how maternity leave is experienced in Canada and provide more support to women and also advance gender equity at the same time. So being a part of that has been something I felt immensely proud of. It means a few things. The first thing is, I think it serves as a reminder that we haven't reached a gender equal world yet. And that's why we need these days. You know, according to the World Economic Forum, we're still 136 years away from gender equity. And so we need days like this to celebrate. And so more on the positive side, it is a day for me to celebrate the immense achievements of women globally in our own backyards who are doing really small and big things to change the world. You know, I think a lot of women forget that it only was in 1964 in Canada that we were allowed to open our own bank account without a man's signature. And for me, that feels like a hot minute ago. And so it's really been, you know, for thousands of years, women were dependent upon others for survival. It's been only in our last 100 years that women have been able to rightfully survive on our own. So this is a time where we're making up for lost time. And it's exciting to see the way women are self-determined, self-actualizing. And this is a day to celebrate, witness, and honor that. It would be to stop asking other people what they think and create a space, a container for yourself to connect with just like the deeper parts of yourself and what feels right for you at this time in your life. Because I think for women, we seek a lot of external validation and we forget the immense power that we have inside to create our own path. My favorite way to wind down is to be near water. I know when I'm wound up because I just know the signs now about, and so I kind of know when I need to just breathe. And I feel most connected and at ease where I'm near the water. And thankfully, you know, I live in Steaston. We've got a lovely little riverside community here. So I just need to get down where I can hear water. And that's a beautiful way for me to just take a big, deep breath and exhale and know that everything's gonna be okay. Thank you so much, Gentle Fawn, for joining me today. I hope everybody has a great International Women's Day. Find a woman to celebrate and elevate today.